Hey y'all, I just want to quickly welcome you both to the Zoom conversation on the Circuitous Succession Gallery and quickly introduce myself. My name is Katy Nau, and I'm currently serving as a communications intern for the gallery. I've been working closely with the director, Jason, to carry out the third annual Richard Knowles Prize, which we're going to be kind of diving into today. So I was hoping you both could briefly introduce yourselves.
Sure. My name is Clay Palmer. I'm the Gallery and Events Coordinator and Lecturer at UT Martin, and I'm a recent graduate from the MFA program in painting at the University of Memphis.
Okay, hi, my name's Jason Stout. I'm Professor of Art at the University of Tennessee at Martin.
Awesome. So I thought I'd just dive into some conversational questions. So as the respective recipient and juror of the Richard Knowles Prize, I want to kind of firstly ask both of you about your backgrounds as artists and how you came to this point in your career. So whoever wants to answer first.
Go ahead, Clay.
Sure. So really it started when I was in elementary school. I had entered a drawing into a drawing contest and ended up winning it. And I was really quiet as a kid. I wasn't really a person who kind of put myself out there. And so I liked that I could get recognition without having to talk in front of people. So I enjoyed that, enjoyed being able to communicate through drawing and through other visual medias. And so I just really kind of always had a love for that as I went through school, and then eventually decided to pursue it as a career and went through undergrad and graduate school, and now here we are.
I graduated from the University of Texas at San Antonio with my MFA in painting and drawing in 2004, and I've been at UTM teaching since 2005. So I've been here around a little bit now, a little bit of time, and part of what I do here is I teach painting and drawing, 2D design, and I'm the faculty advisor for our student art group that does a lot of outreach and stuff like that. And I'm still working and showing artists. So that's part of kind of all the hats that I wear right now.
Gotcha. Well, thank you both for that. So could you tell me a little bit how your paths have crossed? I know you kind of alluded to it.
Yeah, when I was teaching here, I think Clay started around, what was it, Clay, 2017 or 16?
13.
15.
Yeah, 13. I graduated in 17.
13. Gosh,
Yeah.
Clay's older than I thought. Sorry. Clay came in and was a freshman, but was also a university scholar. And part of what I was interested in working with Clay is, he's a very ambitious, curious young artist. But he was also from Weakley County, and in the demographic kind of Weakley County, we don't have a high degree of support in the arts. So the fact that we had a kid from Weakley County, which is the county that UTM sits in, that was majoring in art, that was also a university scholar, was completely intriguing to me. And as I had Clay in classes and got to work with him a little bit more, especially early on, the curiosity and Clay's intellectualism with being curious about learning about art, learning about artists as he developed his skills, for me it was really exciting as a teacher, getting to get up every day and work with somebody like that. And when we got to around Clay's junior year, that's around the time, end of your sophomore year, junior year, where you have to declare a project for university scholars. University scholars, and Clay, if I don't do a good job describing this, you can just follow up with it, is a program designed to feature the top students that come in UTM. You have to have a certain GPA coming in. You have to score a certain score on the ACT. And part of what you do is you get so much money if you're in this. You have to take these advanced classes the whole time you're here. You have to take scholars and honors courses instead of the regular courses. But part of what you do in the program too is that you do a research project where you team up with two faculty mentors. You have a main mentor and then a second. And so when Clay was at the end of his sophomore year, starting his junior, his scholars project was going to be a visual art project that was based on doing a show, which would also satisfy his capstone exhibition here. And it was going to be dealing with semi-abstract figurative work, narrative work that dealt with his faith and his history in the region. So things like family narratives and his faith and the historical implications of now and then the past connected to both of those things. And so I was lucky enough to get to be his mentor in that project. And of course, when you work that closely with somebody with something that matters so much, I mean, you know, graduating as a scholar means that their project is accepted and that it moves on and then it meets all the criteria, which are very strict in that program. So getting to do that and getting to have a fine arts university scholar that graduated here, and then working with Clay on his exhibition, which turned out fantastic with the long narrative that he had to write, was really part of the beginning of our closeness over the 4 years we worked together in undergraduate.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for that. And this kind of like follows in that vein and is another question for you, Jason. But could you tell me a little bit about Clay's nomination and really like why you chose him to receive this award, especially after working with him in school?
Sure. I think part of my deal with Clay, and I was dead serious about this, is that I said, you know, I'm a pretty busy guy, and I said, you know, Clay, if we're going to do this, and you're going to do this project, and it's going to be a visual art project, I said, you have to promise me that you're going to apply to graduate school. So whatever we do with this. And so I really helped him to that. It's like, when you get done, this work is basically going to be your graduate school application. And because it does also, the design of the project also has all the criteria that you need to apply to a grad school, right? It has a central thesis or topic that's well written about. It has an artist statement that's a shorter version that goes along with that. Then it has the proof of those statements in all the body of work. And so part of what I was looking at too, it was, where could Clay kind of go to regionally that would be a good graduate program for a young painter like himself? And immediately with the roster of the faculty that were at the University of Memphis, I thought at the time it was a perfect time for him to go to Memphis if he got in to apply to. Part of it was painters like Jed Jackson and Beth Edwards, who were kind of like right at the end of their teaching career. So I was like, you know, you got to go now before they retire or whatever. And, you know, Hamlet Dobbins is there, or Dobbins is there too. And I just thought there was a plethora of really good painting there, and it was close to the region, and he could continue the work that he was making in this kind of West Tennessee narrative and wouldn't be completely out of that. So I thought conceptually it's a good transition, but I thought also too, formally, that those professors at the University of Memphis offered him a really good reach of growth. And I thought the University of Memphis added an extra element of diversity that he would be able to explore and kind of expand upon who he is as a young artist in person while he worked there.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And Clay, this one's more directed towards you. So as I'm sure y'all both know, Richard Knowles was not only an artist, but an educator, leading the painting program at the University of Memphis, where Jason just explained, you know, you were a graduate student in the same exact program he once led. So how do you kind of feel your own education and work aligns with his legacy?
I think that Richard Knowles understood the value of painting as a medium. You know, painting is it's inherent in the process of painting that there are going to be limitations to it. And so the fact that you can kind of reach some sort of infinitude in subject matter, in composition, that sort of thing, through those limitations. Obviously, he believed in that. He was a very prolific painter. He obviously had a really great work ethic, which I try to mirror as much as I can, you know, being prolific, making a lot of work and working hard to build up a great body of work, and also through studying theory and painting and that sort of thing. And then I think also he understood the importance of cultivating relationships with artists in the community, not just artists, but educators, critics. I know his wife was actually a critic for the Memphis Flyer. And so being able to make connections with all the different people within your region to build an arts community is something that the University of Memphis teaches all the way through. It was taught when I was an undergrad at UTM. And so being able to add to that legacy and to continue that on, I think is something that I'm very fortunate to be able to do. And I'm very appreciative to the work that he put in while he was there in Memphis.
Thank you so much. Well, that's about the end of the questions for me, but congratulations, Clay, and thank you so much, Jason, for everything you've done during this process. Y'all have any other closing thoughts?
I guess I would just follow up with what Clay said. You know, part of, I think, of what makes this important is that, you know, if there wasn't a legacy, we wouldn't be doing this interview right now, right? The fact that, Richard Knowles made so many paintings. He was a great educator, and the fact that people felt the need to take up the mantle to like kind of pass this on and raising awareness not only for the practice of working artist and the spreading of his work, but also to the mission that when you are a professor and a teacher, that is one aspect of who you are creatively, but also too your practice isn't as important as everything you do with it, and that's got to be the backbone to it. So, and you can see still the ripple effects of his work. I think in the region, there's all the people that are kind of painting and working now in this side of the state that deal with painting. At sometimes have had at least once have had some kind of visual conversation with his work and the legacy that he's kind of. So it's kind of uh, a patriarchal kind of like grandfather of the scene of somebody that had a lasting legacy that painted and really built and taught and educated so many people for generations. You see a continuation of that through what this interview is today. So it's truly an honor, I guess, to be a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for considering me for this award, Stout. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Jason Miller with Circuitous Succession for facilitating this, and then also thank you, Katie, for taking the time out of your day to do the interview with us. I really appreciate it.
Of